Hello everyone, I am the Conscious Atheist, and I'm here with a message. This is my very first video. The production quality is not the best on this one, I know. I was listening to a podcast earlier today from one of my favorite YouTubers, Matthew Santoro, on his podcast, and he says, just start. So that's what I'm doing. I do have a topic for today. I will be going into several discussions on my channel about things such as religion, religious reviews, which are basically reviewing religious videos or religious content, either the ridiculousness, the stupidity, or the illogicalness of such arguments or such videos. I will be reviewing them. There's going to be a Science Sunday, in which I will be discussing a scientific concept, the evidence is for and against, and all around is to review and critique of such things. But today's video, I'm going to start off by talking about the Epicurean paradox as well as the Omnipotence paradox, which I think are two really great arguments against God's benevolence, omnipotence, and those underlying abilities and powers that are ascribed to him. Now, to start with the Epicurean paradox, I have it pulled up right here. It says, is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God? Epicurus, Greek philosopher. Now, that argument, I believe, is a very good starting pinpoint for our discussion on these qualities about God that not only are illogical and don't make any sense, but I can demonstrate using a little bit of reason and common sense, using a conscious mind to show that they are illogical. Let's start with the first part. Is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he's not omnipotent. This part is referring to, is he willing? Does he want to prevent evil on this world? But does he not have the powers or the abilities or the capabilities to do such? I agree with this omnipotent paradox, and I will be going back to it. And I will be going back to a few other of those things later in the video. So this obviously shows that if he is willing to do it and he wants to get rid of it, but he is unable to do it due to his powers or due to limits or due to other such factors, then it shows that he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he's malevolent. This is a little bit of the opposite. It says, does he have the power to do so, but he's just not willing. He just doesn't want to. Then it says that he's malevolent. Of course, if a God knows that evil is willingly happening in the world and he's not willing to do anything about it, but he has the capability to do so, then he is evil. Then he is complacent in the act. He is picking a side over that. He is choosing not to do anything when he could do something. And in the circumstances of a victim, such as of raping or a murder, he is choosing the sides of course, Christians and apologetics will show that he does not want to violate free will, in which case he's already picking a side if he chooses not to violate free will. One person's free will is going to be affected, either the victim's free will or the perpetrator's free will if God so chooses to intervene. But in most, if not almost all cases that you see in today's world, it happened all back then before video cameras and video evidence and auditory and audio recordings came out. So once again, this is another jab at him. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Breaking this down, is he both capable of doing it with his powers and wanting to do it? Then what's the excuse for evil? And the last part, is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God? Exactly. As we have stated with the other factors in this Epicurean paradox, If he is neither able nor willing, if he has neither the capability nor the desire to do so, then why bother calling him God? So I believe that this is a good first step to take in disseminating whether or not if we're going to evaluate God, majorly focused on the Abrahamic God and the Abrahamic faiths, each one pertaining to Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, but here we're just wrapping them all up and explaining the concept of a God, regardless of the ones you believe in. This is also not dismantling any arguments for the existence of a God or deism. These are just the Epicurean paradoxes and me giving my intake and my logic onto why I think it's irrational. So aside from the Epicurean paradox, we're going to be moving on to the second part, which is the omnipotence paradox. Can God create a stone so heavy even he couldn't lift it? Now there's two ways you can go about this. Number one, yes, he can create a rock so heavy he could lift it. Okay, well he can't lift it. Hence that's something he can't do. Hence he's not omnipotent. Or if he can't create a rock so heavy that he can't lift it, then that's something that he can't do. Hence he's not omnipotent, and then thus hence the paradox. I think this is a great idea because it kind of gets Christians and believers or of any faith to get them questioning and thinking, well, maybe they would put forth their own argument. I would put forth a few other arguments in addition to the Epicurean paradox and in addition to the omnipotence paradox. Now, I'm going to be taking the Christian faith because not only was it the one that I grew up with until I reached about age 20 and dropped it, but also because that's what surrounds me. Now, Christians say that God is everywhere. He is omnipresent. Okay? But they also claim that hell is eternal separation from God. But wait, if omnipresence basically means that God is everywhere and a hell counts as a place, wouldn't that mean that God is in hell? Because if God was not in hell, then he would not be omnipresent, and so therefore there would be no eternal separation from God. Hence why I think the logic of that argument is off. Now, as for the problem of omniscience, there could be something that he doesn't know that he doesn't know, and he would never ever be able to figure it out because he just wouldn't know it if there were such knowledge that he was unaware of. Now, omniscience is also is a difficult thing to really evaluate. But if we take what I have just said, omnipotence, omnipresence, we've already thrown those two out with the bathwater. What makes you think that God is holding up anymore? It looks like he's losing ground pretty fast. So I would just throw out the omniscience with that. So we have omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. Those are my arguments for why I think that the Abrahamic faiths of those gods and the qualities and the powers and the abilities that are ascribed to those deities are both irrational, illogical, and therefore should be thrown out. There will be more videos to come where I talk about things pertaining to these natures, as well as I've said, I will be doing religious reviews, as well as Science Sundays, as well as a bunch of other segments. But if you enjoyed this video and it made you think, please leave a comment down below and we can talk about it. I'm the Conscious Atheist. Peace out!